Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is dissecting why Meredith Marks, who used to be a lawyer, is still staying friendly with her fraudulent friend, Jen Shah. I have my ideas, I have my theories. We'll get into it. But before we do, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And also check out the description box below. We have a ton of goodies, and also shop the Love collection. We have so much good stuff down there. So go ahead and treat yourself. So with that, let's dive right on in. Okay, so according to page 6, you guys, Meredith Marks is doubling down on her friendship with Jen Shah. So as we all know, prior to this situation, Jen Shah and Meredith Marks were beefing hardcore over the fact that Meredith's son, Brooks, had made this derogatory statement about Jen Shah showing her, lady part when she came over. She was, maybe not wearing underwear. It was all very cringy. And then subsequently, Jen Shah says that her social media team might have liked and retweeted some very unkind / homophobic tweets regarding her son. Meredith Marks also claimed that this was kind of pre-Botgate, if we're being honest, right? If you get Botgate, you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is kind of pre-Botgate, where Meredith Marks said that she hired a private eye, like a digital private eye. And he said that more likely than not, it was Jen Shah who was sending, cryptic and weird text messages to her, to Brooks, to maybe even other women in the group. It was this whole situation that just got really weird very quickly. But miraculously, in season 3, they are now besties, even though Jen Shah has pled guilty to the fraud crimes of defrauding the elderly. But let's read some of the article, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I think is really going on with this new friendly fraudster friendship, and I'll tell you what I think. All right, let's dive in. Meredith Marks, why I'm still speaking to Jen Shah after guilty plea. She's not disengaging. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Meredith Marks is maintaining a friendship with Jen Shah even after the latter pleaded guilty in her fraud case. Jen and I are still speaking, and more than ever, I think she probably needs some support from people around her. Marks, 50, tells Page 6 exclusively while promoting Season 3 of the Bravo reality series. You'll see a lot unfold and have a much better level of understanding of the place she was coming from. I can't say in terms of her plea, that I have no idea, but just in general, emotionally, the jewelry designer teases. You'll see a lot of how she and I reconnect. Shah, 48, allegedly scammed hundreds of people out of money through a nationwide telemarketing scheme, and her March 2021 arrest was documented on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. In July, she pleaded guilty when she appeared in front of U.S. District Judge Sidney Stein in Manhattan Federal Court, reversing her previous not guilty plea. As a part of a plea deal, she admitted her guilt on one count, conspiracy to commit wire fraud in connection with telemarketing, while the U.S. attorney agreed to drop the count against her, conspiracy to commit money laundering. So she basically pleaded to the lesser thing. Shah's lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, previously told Page 6 that the last-minute plea was made because the Bravo celebrity wants to pay her debt to society and put this ordeal behind her and her family. Shah's plea agreement calls for up to 14 years in prison and restitution of up to $9.5 million. Her sentencing is set for November 28th. Prior to her guilty plea, the reality star had proclaimed her innocence on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and in court. I believe that, at a minimum, Jen believed in her own innocence because she said she was innocent, Marks, who made amends with Shah at the season 2 reunion after a heated feud played out across multiple episodes, tells us. It was surprising that she took a plea. It was surprising for sure that she took a plea because, if anything, I thought she would at least go to trial. But hopefully we get to see the backstory on how that all unfolded. Season 3 technically wrapped production earlier this year, but Bravo cameras followed Shah leading up to her July court appearance. Marks and castmate Heather Gay each developed deeper bonds with Shah while filming the latest installment of the show. The two women even met the embattled reality star in New York City ahead of her pre-trial hearing to show their support. We live in the U.S. We have a justice system here. She was slated for a jury trial, so in my view, it's not up to me to determine her guilt or innocence at any level. That's why we have the justice system that we have, Marks tells Page 6. Marks, who attended law school at Northwestern University, adds that she was careful not to press Shah for details about her legal woes. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so let's talk about it. So this is what I think is really going on. I think, again, this is all alleged, rumor, in my opinion. I think Meredith Marks always knew Jen Shah was guilty as hell. I don't think any woman on that show ever thought Jen Shah was innocent. Let's just call a thing. We all thought she was guilty, and it turns out she was because she pleaded guilty, right? I think this all boils down to strategic alliances. This has nothing to do with like, oh, I wanted to support my friend. Oh, innocent until proven guilty. Oh, our justice system, blah, 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 blah. Meredith, miss me with that. This all boils down to the fact that last season, Lisa Barlow on her hot mic read you, your husband, your family, your non-house for filth. For filth. And you're still in your feelings about it. And you want to go after Lisa. And you know that the best person to team up with to go after Lisa is Jen Shah. And I know you guys are like, why wouldn't it be Whitney Rose? Why wouldn't it be Heather Gay? They all hate Lisa. And I'm going to tell you why. The real rift that started between Meredith and Lisa was back in season 1. When Lisa thought that Jen Shah was lying when she was saying that Meredith was cheating, open marriage, whatever you want to call it, sleeping with other people other than her husband. She said that Meredith was doing this. Lisa Barlow thought that Jen Shah was lying. She thought, I've known Meredith for a decade. She's like my sister. We're thick as thieves. If something like this was going on, I would know. The moment it came out that Jen Shah was telling the truth, because her and Meredith were the ones, like everybody has been saying, I'll say alleged, but we all know the deal. They were in New York. They were traveling, doing this, that, and the third. They were all busting it wide and getting it in where they could fit it in. Apparently, Jen and Meredith were stepping out on their men, allegedly. When Lisa realized that she was the one who got the okie doke, that she was here windmilling for Meredith, and it turns out Meredith really was in New York sleeping with men who wasn't her husband. And then once that was exposed, then we all saw Meredith, and I think her husband is Sean. Then they started, oh, we've been separated. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. We don't even care about them, right? Not that we don't care about them, but like, you know what I mean? That to me was the real moment that Lisa and Meredith's friendship changed. And then it spills out when we saw last season when Lisa gets really angry and she's on the hot mic and she's like, why? Because I don't sleep on my husband, because I am not a blah, 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 because I don't go to New York and I da-da-da-da. I think that's all coming out. I actually don't think it has anything to do with the fact that Meredith was actually sleeping with other men other than her husband. I think Lisa's feelings was hurt because she didn't know. And she thought she was closer to her than that. And since she was doing all of this with Jen, then it makes the most sense for her to team up with Jen against Lisa. Number one, Jen Shah knows where the bones are buried. She knows what the skeletons in the closet. I'm talking about Meredith's, not Lisa's, right? So I think that Meredith decided to come into this season gunning for Lisa. We see that in the clips. We see that in the preview. You know, Jen and Meredith all of a sudden have a kumbaya, even though two minutes ago, Meredith was losing her mind about the tweets and about Brooks. And even though they had their whole come to Jesus moment, they had their whole situation come together, she was still holding a grudge against Jen. And Jen was like, what do you want? I've already apologized. What do you want from me? So she was still pissed. But she miraculously, it was a miracle, found it in her heart to forgive Jen the moment she needed someone to go against Lisa with. We saw it in the preview, in one of the preview clips, where it's Jen and it's Meredith, and they're in like the heated spa pool. And it's very, very scripted. It's very, very clear that they already knew what they're going to say. And they plant the rumor that Lisa Barlow is doing sexual favors in order to get her alcohol out there. There's been questions about her marriage, X, Y, and Z. So Meredith basically is saying, and she said this in the confessional, Lisa, you came for me and my family. You came for us. Well, now I'm coming for you. The problem with that, though, Meredith, Lisa didn't actually come for you and your family. Nothing Lisa said in her hot mic moment was exposing you. She literally just repeated what everybody had already said and everybody had already known. Jen was the one who outed you, quiet as it's kept. Jen was the one who outed you in season 1 when she told Whitney Rose about, she wasn't sure if you were faithful. She wasn't sure, like, all of that stuff was going on because she knew you were dipping out on your marriage, because I think at that time you and Sean were, I don't know, open marriage, separated, whatever the hell you guys were doing. I don't care. Live your life. Just don't lie about it when you're pretending to be on the show. You see what I'm saying? So everything Lisa said on the hot mic, it may have been bad, it may have been a tirade, but nothing she said exposed you. So that's the problem I have with your mindset of, well, Lisa, you said this about me last season, so now I'm going to say all this about you. I'm going to put it out there that you did sexual favors for your vodka. I'm going to put it out there that there's questions about your business. There's questions about your finances. There's questions about your marriage. What you're doing, whether you're making these rumors up yourself, which is what it sounds like, or if these rumors really have been going around, you're trying to expose her, where Lisa did not expose you. Jen Shah, your new fraudulent bestie, is the one who actually exposed you. And then that's when you had to start talking about, living in separate places and having the marriage, and you guys have been separated for a while and blah, 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 blah. Nothing in Lisa's tirade was new information. We already knew you didn't own the house. We already knew that your husband, Sean, had a different job every other day, and he was in a different state every other day. He wanted to go to Denver, Alabama, I don't even know the places. We already knew all that. We already knew that you had been sleeping with other people. We already knew all of that. Nothing Jen said exposed you. So miss me with this fake, Jen and I are now friends. Jen and I now, innocent until proven guilty. Oh, I don't know why she took the plea deal, but she's going to need support. Miss me with all of that. At the end of the day, this is a strategic alliance. Meredith wants to take Lisa down, so she's enlisted Jen Shah. Whitney, she can't enlist because Whitney is finally getting her wish that she's wanted since she was a little girl, to be Lisa's friend. And Heather Gay is too busy, feuding with her cousin Whitney, not believing her, childhood story. So the only person that she really could join forces with is Jen, because remember, Jen was at the core of this whole situation the whole time. And then Jen just needs any friends she can get at this point, because she's going to the clink clink. But that's what I think. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this is a genuine friendship between Jen Shah and Meredith Marks? Or do you think, no, this is a strategic alliance. Jen needs a friend on the show. Meredith needs a partner in crime to go against Lisa. What do you think about Lisa Barlow and her hot mic moment from last season? Do you think that's going to come back and bite her in the butt? What do you think about, Heather Gay and Whitney and their feud and what's going on? What do you think about Whitney and Lisa now allegedly being friends? What are your thoughts? put it down below in the chat box. But before you do, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. Also, be sure to check out the description box. We have a lot of fun goodies down there, and also shop the Love Collection. Go ahead and treat yourself. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!